Welcome to JW Fit Life. I'm Jason, and today I want to talk a little bit about breaking down a fence. That sounds crazy, right? And this thought came not even from, me trying to break down the fence or seeing somebody breaking down a fence physically, but thinking about a dog in a fence, right? So I'm thinking about, dog just walking around this yard. He's fenced in, maybe even with a leash on or a collar, whatever. He's restrained. Well, you wonder, when we're in that situation where we feel trapped. We feel like all we do is go to work and go home, and we're check to check, and we just want more with our life, right? And we're just walking around that enclosed structure, right? And you wonder why, just knock the fence down. Just get out of there. You don't want to be there, just leave, right? But it's not always that easy, is it? It's not always easy just to break it down because, of course, the dog isn't just going to break the fence down. But what happens if he jumps over the fence, right? Somebody pulls him back in, or some of them get to their freedom, right? But a lot of times, they'll jump over the fence, and the neighbor will get them and bring them back, and it's just a long process. And then, the fence gets bigger, or the leash gets tighter or shorter or whatever, right? Trying to make sure the dog stays in, right? And that's kind of how we get when we're shooting for things in life too, right? So we do these things to ourselves, right? So we'll try to get that promotion, and we'll get declined. We'll put these fences around ourselves and say, okay, well, that's not meant for me, or I'm too this, or I'm too that, or I can't have that because of this, right? And or we'll go out and apply for a job and get rejected, or we'll apply for this business loan and get rejected, and we'll say, well, I tried, it's just not for me. We put all these invisible barriers up, and the more we get rejected, the higher those barriers get, and it's so tough to get by them, right? But I truly believe in the long game, right? I'm okay with the long game, and a lot of people don't know what the long game is. But as I talk to you about it, anybody who knows me will kind of recognize it. And what the long game is like, think about that dog in that fence again, right? Instead of trying to jump over the fence, you come away from the fence, right? You build trust, right? You build respect, you build loyalty, you build your relationship, right? And soon that leash gets a little loose, right? Get a little more freedom, but you don't use that freedom yet, right? You continue to stay in your little area, right? And then eventually the fence may not go away, but the gate opens up, right? And you may, poke your head out here and there, but still stay in your area, right? You work on you, right? You continue to build that relationship, continue to build that trust, continue to build that loyalty, continue to get stronger, faster, smarter, right? And then before you know it, that fence it's not needed anymore. It's gone because you're there, right? But still, it's not quite time to go yet, right? Don't get too anxious. Still build that trust, still build those relationships, because you don't necessarily know what's out there yet, right? You're stronger, you're faster, you're smarter, right? So now you go out, you will be taken out of the fence, right? Now you're taken out of the fence, you got it out of the fence, all around town, no leash, and you're free, right? But whoever uh, the owner of that animal is, right? Owner of that pet doesn't know he's free, right? But the pet knows he's free, right? So, not calling anybody a pet, but stick with my example here, because when we're working for somebody else, and sometimes we are so focused on having everything right now, we don't want to play that long game. So you go to work, wherever work is for you. Work can be, holding up a sign, at the on the road. Work can be working at McDonald's. Work can be working at the library. Or work can be working at the I don't know, GlaxoSmithKline, or any other one of these large corporations, Walmart or Amazon, wherever you want to work. Work can be there, right? Fire department, police department, right? What do you do when you leave work, right? What are you doing to build yourself, right? So if you're holding that sign, right, when you leave work, right, it's time to work on yourself, right? If you hadn't been working on yourself there, you work on yourself when you leave. So you go home and okay, I'm holding a sign for some money, but I'm doing this studying for myself, right? I'm going to start building me up. And you're not doing it for that job. You're not doing it to get a promotion where you are, unless that's your goal, right? But you're doing it to build yourself up. So you go home from holding that sign all day in that hot sun, and you crack that book open, because now you're studying to be a safety specialist, or you're studying to be an architect, or you're studying to be a nurse or a teacher, or whatever it is you're trying to be. All right. You don't need a degree or a degree program or um, college enrollment to start studying to build yourself up. You just start learning it, right? And as you start learning it, it starts to become a part of you, right? That long game, right? You start building yourself up. You start making yourself smarter, stronger, more valuable, right? Because every time you go out and you hold that sign up, you're becoming more valuable. Maybe nobody else knows it. Who cares right now, right? Because it's about you, about building you up, right? Because before long, a year goes by and you've developed yourself to the point where more opportunities are now visible to you. You see more. You're able to do more, right? So now you're holding that sign up, and you've been studying safety specialist, and now you're able to go out and get a certification, right? You get that certification, but you still hold that sign up, right? Don't be so quick to run off, right? Because obviously that gives you the time to work on yourself, right? So now you're actually a safety specialist, and you're holding that sign up, right? That employer, he may not know how valuable you are, but you know how valuable you are, right? Hold that sign up, got that degree, that certification, go get another one. Keep building yourself up. And what's going to happen is, as you're sitting out there holding that sign up, right, you'll be a different person, right? You'll start to see different things. You'll start to use that safety certification information, right, to make the things around you better. And as you make the things around you better, right, people see you differently. They start to see you differently. They start to treat you differently, right? Loosen up that collar, right? They're giving you that more of that space, opening up that gate, knocking those fences down, right? And before long, right, you'll see opportunities that they've been right there in your face, right? This sign that you've been standing beside for months. You read in your certification that this sign means something. I don't know. Can't think of an example, right? But you know what that sign means now. Now you find out that, your team is violating the safety sign. All right. You let your boss know, hey, we're violating this safety sign now. You could have saved your job money, time, right? Kept somebody from getting injured, right? You're using that. You're building yourself. You're building your relationships, and that's how we grow, right? And from those interactions, right, you become more valuable. Now, not to say that's going to guarantee you a promotion or anything, right? But guarantees that you're more valuable, right? That fence is down, the gate's down, chains are off, right? And now if you want to, you can move on to another position that that's looking for the certification that you have. We can continue to grow where you are, right? Continue to build relationships, continue to meet people, continue to read, continue to develop yourself, play that long game. I'm all about the long game, right? Nobody has to know what you're doing. Nobody has to know that, you have 2 degrees. Nobody has to know that you have a master's degree, doctorate degree. They don't have to know that, right? Because when you get ready to move, you're ready to move, right? So that's my take on the long game. It doesn't mean that we're not marketing ourselves, right? But you market yourself when you're ready to market yourself. I'm going to tell people that you've earned your certifications, or that you've got the education that you have, or you have the experience that you have, or you have the knowledge that you have, to the people who are going to help you. If you are if your goal is to try to move up in the company where you are, you can tell them all about what you're doing, right? But if that's not your goal, then why tell them, right? You can network, you can talk to people. The main thing is develop yourself, right? Use your time wisely. I had a conversation with somebody that I really care about, and I was talking to her, and I was telling her about the competition out there, right? So sometimes we have competition, and we don't even realize we're in competition. But if you just think about, if you have a goal right now for yourself in your life, right? Let's just say your goal is to be the head of this huge corporation, right? Be a president, CEO, right? Well, there's somebody else out there who wants it, right? And if we say that you're working towards that goal and they're working towards that goal, who's working harder right now? Just think about, well, I don't know, what are you doing right now? All right? What are they doing right now? Who knows, right? But if you're sitting on your butt, odds are you're probably not working harder, all right? I don't know. They could be sitting on their butt too. But if they're sitting on their butt, all you have to do is do something, right? So I'm all about moving up, not taking life for granted. If you want something, you go get it. If you don't know how to do it, you learn it. And there's so many people right now that they just stay in that fence. Get out of the fence, right? I don't think it's a bad thing if you just decide to jump over, right? Because that works for some people. Just jump the fence. Just go. Just stop what you're doing, drop everything, and go. But it's a little more challenging if you are, have mouths to feed, right? They say, if you have a dream, if you have a goal, you have to take that leap of faith, right? But that's not absolutely true, right? You have to use some common sense, right? So some of those risks you take have to be calculated, right? You have mouths to feed. You can't just, quit your job and, you know, just hope everything works out, and just can't do it, right? You have to plan things out. You have to, take calculated risks, right? Understand, where you're going to get your next meal. Well, at least where, your kid's going to get their next meal, whoever you're feeding, at least know where they're going to get their next meal. Even if you're going to go hungry, right? They have to eat, right? And, it's just absolutely not fair to put, their livelihood on the line for what you want to do, right? So that's one of my personal opinions there. But with that said, it's jumping out on that limb it's a difficult move, right? But if you plan it out and you're okay with taking that long road, playing that long game, and building yourself up, and making yourself stronger and faster and smarter. You make yourself stronger, faster, smarter, right? A lot of times, people around you won't really acknowledge your growth, right? And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. It's okay, because it's for you, right? You understand the plan that you have for yourself. Understand the plan that you've created, and you trust in it, and you keep working it, right? So I said it before, it's like, it's a journey, right? So if you have a plan to go from here to another state, and the road, if the roadmap that you're going to take, the route that you're going to take, you don't start the trip and say, well, I hadn't got there yet, right? No, you know where you're going to go. Who cares if it's boring? You're going, right? When I was as a trainer, I hear that all the time. As a fitness trainer, I hear that all the time. People getting bored with their workouts. Well, what they're really saying is they don't think their workout is working, right? They don't trust their workouts working, because being bored with something, you can be bored with something and continue to do it if it's working, right? So if you're losing, 3-4 pounds a week, doing the same thing over and over, eating the same thing over and over, and it's boring, a lot of you are still, continue to eat the same thing over and over because it's working, right? But the problem is you don't think it's working, right? So it's not just that it's boring, you just don't think it's working. So you have to trust in your plan, understand where you're going, create a roadmap, sit down and write it out if you have to, right? So that way, when you get off of work or leave your job, you can begin concentrating on yourself. And there's a little more to going to work, right? I do say that, when you go to work, it's, you don't just work for the people that you're getting paid by, right? You work for yourself too. You're building yourself at work, right? But in this scenario, I'm just talking about, the time you spend outside of work, right? When you leave work, what are you doing, right? Pick up a book. Self-development, certifications are all over the place, right? You don't need to always have a teacher in front of you to learn something, right? There are tons and tons of books out here, textbooks that you can just pick up. Because that's all the teacher does, right? They're teaching out of a textbook. So you can get that same textbook and you can go through it, and you can do your assignments, and you can read, and and you can put the work in, the effort in, to read it over and over and write down stuff and have your own class and, build yourself up and get stronger, faster, smarter, right? And you grow yourself. Take control of your life. Nobody else going to do it. Well, they will if you let them. But I can keep going on and on about this one. And I probably will, just not right now. Thanks a lot for showing up again. JNW Fit Life at jnwfitlife@gmail.com. And I want to say thank you for all your comments, all your feedback, and just keep in mind that all the feedback that I receive, I hold it dearly, and if I don't implement it, I definitely think about it, right? So thanks a lot, and have a fit life.